offense all season long for Iowa. Remarkable that they're 9-1 given the obstacles they've had to overcome, particularly on offense. The Hawkeyes won the toss and deferred, so Daniel Murray kicks off for the Hawkeyes clad in white. And Ray Small will run it back for Ohio State. And he was tripped up at the 20-yard line. Good coverage. Sophomore from Jeanette, PA, their leading rusher and passer this season. Facing a stout Iowa defense today, averaging less than 16 points per game. Pryor out throwing in the flat, and Jake Ballard, the tight end, chopped down immediately by Brent Greenwood. That is one bit of good news. Brett is back this week for Iowa after missing last week's game at home, the loss to Northwestern. He had a neck injury. Pryor, the inside handoff to Brandon Sane. And he's down at the 27, tackled by Adrian Claiborne. Interesting, Matt, right off the bat, Iowa won the toss and deferred. And that's highly unusual. Since Kirk Ferentz has been their head coach, this is his 11th season, they have started the game on offense 113 times in his 133 games. So he likes to get the ball and go. But with the new quarterback today, maybe get that strong defense out there first. 3rd down and 3. Pryor out of the gun, swings it out in the flat for Sane, and he will not get the first down. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. They have excellent linebackers, and it was A.J. Eads leading the defense, the senior from Greenwood, Indiana, with help from Pat Anger, the middle linebacker. Exactly what Kirk Ferentz wanted to have happen when he deferred. John Toma punts, a fair catch signaled by Colin Sandeman. He's just back in action after missing the last 2 games with a concussion. Threw for nearly 8,000 yards in high school, but he was accustomed on a good Friday night to playing in front of 3,000 or so fans. He's playing in front of 100,000 plus today. With the conference championship and a Rose Bowl bid at stake, he stumbled on the handoff to Adam Robinson, and then Adam stumbled and lost 2. Kirk Ferentz knew that Vandenberg would be nervous. James has admitted that he did play more than half the game last week against Northwestern. Textbook Iowa play there. The fake to a rollout pass and a completion for Vandenberg to Trey Strauss.
And Ricky Stanza, who you see there, is helping him, trying to talk him through a lot of things. So there's a lot of good stuff that's happened for Vandenberg all week, and he still has a good skill set.
3rd down and 7. He zings one. What a throw by Vandenberg. Not looking the least bit nervous. Stanzi fired up. Darrell Johnson-Koulianos the catch. Ricky Stanzi, an Ohio native, back in his home state, had ankle surgery earlier in the week. Another good throw by Vandenberg, and the catch by Alan Reisner, their 2nd tight end.
What do we have? We have a strong arm in Vandenberg, and we also have some good wheels. So you take it and you use it, and you start moving him out of the pocket, and you start to roll and start to work the edges, and it takes away a little bit of the rush.
Vandenberg keeps on 2nd down and a yard, and he gets the first down. You just feel as you're around him that he's in control of his circumstances and he's going to perform well. An impressive start for Vandenberg. He has the Hawkeyes across midfield. And Adam Robinson stuffed. Ross Holman.
Here's a hot tip. Always block everybody before you run the play. And he knows this kid. He's with them week in and week out. And so when he starts talking about some guys have a feel, that's a great sign.
And they're going to have to throw it. They have not run the ball well this year, the Hawkeyes. Adam Robinson gets back to the Ohio State 48, perhaps even the 47. Cameron Hayward made the tackle.
With Ohio State, that has really come into its own. And really, we talked on the front end, but it's led by Cameron Hayward, who really has been, he's picked up his game.
3rd down and 10. They give Vandenberg time. He throws on the run, short. Good move after the catch by Marvin McNutt, but he's short of the first down at the 42-yard line, tackled by Lawrence Wilson, one of the best punters in the country, and Ryan Donahue. Coach Ferentz believes he has an NFL future. Hangs it up high. Small let it bounce. It took an Ohio State bounce. and is down near the 11-yard line. Terrell Pryor. They went 3 and out on offense on their first possession. Design rollout after a fake. Nowhere to throw it. And it's incomplete. Intended for Dane Sonsenbacher, the junior wide receiver from Toledo.
Last week, I thought that was a great job of their offensive line in establishing the run, and they got stronger as the game got stronger.
With the good play in recent weeks by the line, they've been running the ball very well. Over 200 yards rushing in each of the last 3 games for Ohio State. Tough sledding there for Brandon Sane.
Those are the 2 guys who've really kind of settled into the front. Shugarts is hurt and could be coming in just to see in a backup role.
Portal head-to-head with Adrian Claiborne, one of the best defensive ends in the country. Pryor forced to step up. He can run. He's tripped up. And they're going to mark it, it appears, with first down yardage across that 23-yard line. They'll give him the 24 and a first down. Christian Ballard tripped him up. 6'6", 235 pounds with outstanding speed. Throws it out wide. Devin Barclay, and a good tackle in space by Sean Prater. Here there's no score. After a 2-yard pass to Devin Barclay, here's Terrell Pryor again. And that one's off target. Brett Greenwood had the coverage on Posey. That is a dangerous throw against an Iowa team that leads the country in interceptions with 19.
And with the 20-hour rule, you just don't get it. This, however, is a disciplined back 7.
6 minutes to go in the quarter. 3rd down and 8. Pryor gets away from Claiborne. Still alive and goes out of bounds at the 31, 3 yards short of the first down. Most other quarterbacks would have been tackled for a loss. He turned it into a 5-yard gain. But John Toma, senior, playing in his final home game, pops it straight up in the air. And Colin Sandeman came flying up to catch that very short punt. After a 26-yard punt, Iowa takes over at its own 43-yard line. James Vandenberg, the redshirt freshman, handed it off to Adam Robinson, and he's driven back by Austin Spittler, one of the team captains for Ohio State, another of the 19 seniors. He owns 12 Iowa State passing records. A nicely set up screen. Adam Robinson across midfield to the Ohio State 49. 2 yards short of the first down.
Talking to Stanzi is the most important part. He's been there just like 20 seconds ago. He knows what to tell him.
Vandenberg has single coverage, and the receiver is taken down. Chimney Chekwa got tangled up with Darrell Johnson-Koulianos, and the Hawkeyes believe that's a flag going against the Buckeye secondary.
Pass interference, number 5, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
He has been remarkably poised so far on first down. Another good throw.
I'll tell you what, Sean, right there, that kid, to this point, you can't tell me he's a freshman. You can't tell me he's 19.
This Iowa offensive line. The completion to Trey Strauss got them 6. Now Robinson through a hole created by that line. Knocked down at the 14-yard line. Gain of 14, first down Iowa. They haven't allowed a rush of more than 9 yards by a running back since the second game of the year against USC. 245 rushes by a running back without a run longer than 9 before that one. Robinson smothered. A loss of a yard back to the 15. Austin Spittler and Thaddeus Gibson combining on the play. Spittler lost his helmet.
They create turnovers.
Robinson just back in action after missing a couple of games with the high ankle sprain, trying to run against the stout Ohio State defense, and that was the 3rd time he's been dropped for a loss already. Vandenberg on target. Robinson out of the backfield down to the 9-yard line. Chimdi Chekwa made the tackle. 3 wide receivers. Brett Morse, a fullback, the only running back. And a flag down. Todd Gearlings is the referee leading this Big Ten crew.
False start, 63, offense, 5-yard penalty, Remains third down.
And they're meeting toughness with Ohio State.
Third down and 11. Design rollout for Vandenberg. Throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Strauss, who was covered by Anderson Russell. Should have been 6. The veteran Strauss, senior back in his home state of Ohio. He's from Avon Lake. Dropped it. 32-yard field goal try by Daniel Murray. And it is good. James Vandenberg is 7 out of 8 passing. Freshman quarterback's only incompletion, a drop ball in the end zone by Trey Strauss on a perfectly thrown strike by Vandenberg. Murray's kickoff down to the 5 to Ray Small. Flag thrown from way up near the middle of the field. And that might be coming back for a blocking infraction. It was a nice return by Small out near the 33-yard line.
Holding, 34. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Get off to its best start since 1982. Terrell Pryor starts this series under center. Dan Herron, better known as Boom here in the Buckeye State, carried to the 19.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
Yes, including waiters and waitresses. Herron, a yard and that's all. And this Iowa defense has shut down the Buckeye offense through one quarter. Ohio State, third down and 5. Terrell Pryor throws, and it is caught for a first down by Dane Sonsenbacher.
How they wanted to start.
That would have been better for them as if Strauss had caught that perfectly thrown ball in the end zone. Jeremiah Hunter takes down Boom Herron, but it's a 6-yard gain. NFL, but injuries have slowed him down.
Yeah, and he's last week he got a little taste and kind of messed it up a little bit more, but looks like he's getting off the ball really well here.
And again, refusing to go down, and the crowd loves it. Why wouldn't they? Tremendous effort across the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, Herron bouncing to the left. And down at the 45, 4 more for Herron. Adrian Claiborne made the tackle.
They're coming off the ball. They're staying low. It's good power.
Clearly trying to establish the run on this possession. 5 carries on this drive, and now 6 for Herron. More power football from Ohio State, and a first down to the Iowa 48. High formation football now for the Buckeyes. Trying to pound it on the ground. And Herron chopped down after a gain of 1 by Broderick Binns. Help from Christian Ballard. Jim Tressel, 9th year as Ohio State's head coach. He also calls the plays.
2 of the best run programs in college football. Their head coaches are here today.
A lot of similarities. I believe in kind of an old-fashioned fundamental approach to football. Brandon Sane, repped up by Carl Klug.
What this defense does very well, Sean, and they can be physical, but when they're most effective is when they get to moving. They run a lot of stunts. I mean, you put the tape on and you start to see a lot of exits, Texas, tackles inside, ends moving inside. Norm Parker, he's been the master of that for years.
It's one of the many similarities. Great continuity on both coaching staffs. Parker's been with Ferentz his entire tenure in Iowa City. Pryor, good throw and a catch for a first down to the 31. DeVere Posey, their leading wide receiver.
High-low.
Awkward looking handoff to Brandon Sane. Pryor had to reach to give it to him. Movement along the line of scrimmage. Whistles and flags stop the play. Referee Todd Geerling seemed to be indicating that he thought it was against Ohio State, but now the line judge Dave Chesney
Ball
involved.
start, 44, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Justin Bourne, the starting guard, transfer from Michigan. Of course, they play Michigan next week. Terrell Pryor all day to throw. Settles for the check down in the flat to Brandon Sane. He fights for every inch and got knocked out at the 23.
To throw a nice arc inside to step and throw.
And it's in the flat again to Sane. First down. Good decision by Pryor. I'm glad you explained that because I thought you were saying that line was a bunch of blimps. Dan Herron lines up now in their version of the Wildcat formation. And he goes to the 15-yard line. It's interesting that they run this. Remember when we were here for the Wisconsin game earlier in the season, and Jim Tressel was telling us about a caller to his radio show who asked him, why don't you run the Wildcat? And he said, because we think our cat can run wild. The quarterback, Terrell Pryor, but he has adopted to the Wildcat in recent weeks with Herron.
And that's good coaching. I mean, that's what you do, because it's just all about numbers in the run game.
2nd and 7. Pryor back under center, gave it to Herron. Forced a weave for a hard-earned couple.
He has that. He finds the ball very well. He shows up. He's very active. He's pretty good discipline in his back 7 when he's in pass coverage.
Warren Parker says the idea is to tackle the guy with the ball, and Anger does that. They're 3 out of 3 on this drive on 3rd down. They're going to use the timeout with 3rd and 6 to come. Ohio State driving down 3-0. 3rd down and 6. 16th play of the drive. They've been on the field for 8.5 minutes. They're at the Iowa 13. Hawkeyes showing blitz. They come on a blitz. Pryor is flushed. Running for his life. Throws it up for grabs. Far corner. Caught but out of bounds. DeVere Posey caught it. Brett Greenwood had the coverage, but it was well across the boundary. And they'll settle for a field goal after a drive that had only one play of longer than 9 yards.
But excellent job by the Iowa defense stopping him here when they had to.
There's Devin Barclay in his 2nd game as the starting kicker. Their outstanding senior kicker Aaron Petrie injured a knee against New Mexico State a couple of weeks ago. Barclay trying a 30-yarder, and it's right down the middle. The winner of this game gets the automatic bid into a BCS bowl game out of the Big Ten. The winner will be at least the Big Ten Conference co-champion. Johnson Koulianos, they're known as DJK in Iowa City, bring everybody back into contention. James Vandenberg in this offense on the sideline a long time. Another vintage Iowa play. Another good throw by Vandenberg, and this time that's what the coaches are telling him. Vandenberg has thrown only 2 incomplete passes, both of them dropped by Strauss. He's 7 out of 9 throwing now for 52 yards. Straight back this time, and that was deflected at the line of scrimmage. And there's a flag thrown in the secondary. But Hampton had a fine freshman season a year ago. Here's the call.
There's no foul on the play for offensive pass interference.
It was tipped.
The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. We have an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
3rd down and 10. Four-man rush. Vandenberg time. Short throw. And Ross Holman leveled the fullback, Brett Morse. Short of the first down at the 32. Here's Ryan Donahue on the punt. He's one of the 10 finalists for the Ray Guy Award last year as the best punter in the country, and this is very high. And Ray Small fields it high, a fair catch. And after the 1990 season, they lost to Washington in the Rose Bowl under Hayden Fry. And Herron on first down, tripped up by Carl Klug. Ball marked down at 29, gain of 3. A tough week last week for the Klugs. Carl has a twin brother, Kevin, who plays at Minnesota State in Division II, and his team suffered its first loss of the season last week against St. Cloud State. Herron again, about 1.5 yards short of the first down at the 35. 3rd down and short, and Herron is driven back, but appears to have the necessary yardage to the 37 for a first down. 1st and 10. Ohio State tied at 3, nearing 4 minutes to go in the half. Herron waited patiently, finally turned the corner. They've won at least 10 games each of the previous 4 years. And Insane rumbles to midfield. 13 yards. And a first down. Their last possession, a long drive for Ohio State, nearly 9 minutes. Crowd wanted a horse collar call there, and here comes the flag as Brandon Sane was yanked down by Adrian Claiborne.
I don't like that rule. I never did. And that's tough for a defender.
Personal foul, horse collar, number 3 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Claiborne was born with Erb's palsy, a nerve condition that caused weakness in one arm. He's dealt with it his whole life. No problem with Pryor's arm there. A bullet to Small. And he's down with a first down. Remarkable season for Gerhardt and the Cardinal. Huge hole. Brandon Sane inside the 5. Down to the goal line. Touchdown, Ohio State. And Ohio State leads for the first time today. That's the 8th rushing touchdown given up by Iowa all year in 11 games. Devin Barclay the extra point. Rethinking things on its sideline. Devin Barclay to kick off. Burrell Johnson Koulianos. Nice move. Another good move. And he's lost the football at the end of it. And Ohio State says they have it. Buckeyes say we have it. He says, yeah, you're right, he has his foot there, but the officials certainly haven't been very demonstrative. Now there's the signal.
Yeah, he put his hand up, and he marked it right away. You saw his foot.
Down before the ball was out. 1 back and 3 wide receivers, and it's Adam Robinson ahead for 5.
And sometimes you get got. That time they got.
Vandenberg dumps it down to Brett Morse, the fullback, and he's out of bounds very near the first down, just about a half-yard short.
They need better play from their touted defensive line.
Vandenberg keeps. Thank you, Holly. First down, Iowa, and now the time a factor.
This kid's been accurate. The ball's been out. Catch the ball.
Vandenberg's been hurt by drops. There's another ball that was not caught by Tony Moyaki. Vandenberg is probably their best quarterback in terms of mechanics and fundamentals. Even better than Stanzi. Vandenberg hit as he throws off the hands of his receiver and intercepted by Anderson Russell. To Northwestern last week. They were -6 in turnover margin in those 2 games. Pryor shades loose, goes out of bounds. Herron, the ball carrier. Crowd groans a little bit, and Ohio State in no hurry here. They'll be content to take a 7-point lead to the half. Iowa's a chance to win just its 2nd outright Big Ten title in the last 50 years if they can win out. Fans again boo as Herron got dumped by Christian Ballard. As expected with these 2 stout defenses, a defensive struggle in the first half. They had 3 drops in the 4th and went off the hands of Tony Moyaki. It could have been caught. Devin Barclay, a good kick.
Good decision.
And despite the good play by Vandenberg, only 84 yards of offense for Iowa in that first half. Struggling to get a running game going. Brandon Wager, their freshman running back, sick, and he has not seen any action. So it's been Adam Robinson doing the bulk of the ball carrying, and he's just back from 2 games out with an ankle injury.
And then he just follows the blocks. Get a hat on a hat and get to that next level.
Robinson, the redshirt freshman running back out of Des Moines. And he found a nice hole created by that veteran offensive line. First down to the 38.
The Ohio State defense was on the sideline for such a long time. Doug Worthington, their senior defensive tackle, just reminded them, guys, we got to get more pressure on this quarterback. He is way too comfortable out here.
They're seeing the same thing we're seeing, and here it is again.
Vandenberg going deep and has a receiver open. Johnson Koulianos the catch. Devon Torrance pulls him down and saves a touchdown inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 7. First and goal, Iowa, on a 55-yard play to the delight of Mrs. Vandenberg. On first and goal with the crowd roaring. Robinson down to the 4. Gang tackled there, led by Brian Roll. Looks young enough to be the sister, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's excited though, and he should be, because she's been throwing it. Her son has been throwing the heck out of the football.
He's just 19 years old. Turns 20 on November 24th if you want to send him a card. Play clock running out. And he got the timeout.
Eubanks making his 36th career start, straightening the whole thing out.
So after the timeout, second and goal, and nowhere to go for Adam Robinson. Stopped for a loss by Ross Holman with help from Kurt Coleman.
That's a good linebacker. There's good linebackers on both sides of the ball today.
Vandenberg on third and goal. Throws, dropped again. Just shy of the goal line.
3 for 3 in terms of drops for Strauss. Not a good day.
You have to feel for him now. He's
Absolutely.
like the putter with the yips. 22-yard field goal try. And it is no good. Now Ohio State. Power formation and back to pounding it at this Iowa defense. Brandon Sane for 3, taken down by Adrian Claiborne.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all right there. You can't win like that. You beat yourself.
Sane. He took the snap and got to the 29.
It's early. They're only down by 7. They're playing good football. I mean, you got to be encouraged the way they're playing. Their defense has been playing well. You're going to have your shot again.
3rd and 1, and it is Sane. The ball's out. Looks like the Buckeyes recovered, but might cost them the first down. That fumble cost them the first down. Pryor wants Jim Tressel to go for it. I think it would be very out of character for Jim Tressel to go for it in this instance.
Well, Terrell Pryor wants it. He's not happy he's not getting it. They're going to send that punt.
We talked about the formula here. Conservative offensive football, play field position, rely on your excellent defense. To be against his philosophy to go for it in this situation. So John Thomas on the punt. And the fair catch made by Colin Sandeman, former Ohio State coach, one of the best of his era. Adam Robinson on first down for Iowa, got to the 37-yard line, knocked down by Anderson Russell. Jim Tressel takes that class very seriously. 2nd down and 5. After they address the clock issue, it's running. 9 minutes left now, 3rd quarter. Vandenberg, short throw, and that time a catch by Moyaki.
And like you said, Sean, very few tight ends are complete. Moyaki, he's complete.
3rd down and short. That was the first catch of the day for Moyaki, and then moving along the line.
Ball start, 77. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
He's not driving a lot of people mad, but that one will. Reef madness. Oh, I like that one.
Another one of those little things that you can't keep doing if you hope to win a game like this. Vandenberg on 3rd and 6. Throws it away down the middle. Really nobody in the area. Iowa's been coming from behind all year. They trailed at one point in 8 of their 9 wins. Donahue the punt. Very small. Stopped at the 30-yard line. defense is looking for more gas. Just 168 total yards for each team. Ohio State's ball, leading by 7. Dan Herron slides to the 34.
He's got a hurt knee, a sprained left ankle, turf toe in both toes. A little hurt finger's not going to keep him from going.
And it's on the outside, which is good news for him. It's not on the inside where he has to grip the ball.
And only called on him to throw 11 times so far today. Herron gets 3 more. It'll set up a 3rd and 3. Big 3rd down here for Ohio State. They're 5 out of 10 on 3rd down today. 3rd and 3. Pryor, just a 4-man rush, trying to run away from it, and he is sacked by Adrian Claiborne back at the 25-yard line. 8.5 sacks now for the year. He started the day 3rd in the Big Ten. 12-yard loss. John Tolman, not a very good punt. You could hear that crowd groan as soon as it left his foot. And the fair catch made by Colin Sandeman. 31-yard kick. Vandenberg on 1st down in the flat, and it is caught by Johnson Koulianos. Looked like Coleman was closing with a chance to pick that off from our vantage point.
That's catching the ball with your hands.
Maybe you should stop hitting them, though, upright in stride.
Exactly.
And make it a little tougher for these receivers. Adam Robinson gets them very close to a 1st down. And
we've talked a lot about that with Cameron Hayward and Doug Worthington on the inside and the linebackers, but they've made a little adjustment inside, and they are getting physical up front.
Yes, they are. Kirk Ferentz is one of the all-time good guys.
He may have the best run program out there. I just think he runs a fantastic football program.
54-year-old native of Michigan, went to high school in the Pittsburgh area.
Upper
Played
St.
at
Clair.
Connecticut.
Yep.
Good linebacker at Connecticut, all Yankee Conference academically as well. Vandenberg on 1st down. Given time again. Throws another strike. Caught. Marvin McNutt inside the 15. He's been the big playmaker in recent weeks for Ricky Stanzi, and now for Vandenberg.
Great protection. This kid is playing his rear end off.
McNutt's a former quarterback, converted to wide receiver. Vandenberg handed it off, and inside the 10 goes Robinson to the 9. Todd Denlinger, senior from Troy, Ohio, made the tackle, but he leads the nation entering today's action with 14 interceptions, and in recent weeks he's been particularly wild with his throws. So with Vandenberg in there today, he's been much more accurate than Stanzi's been lately.
You know, Sean, we've seen across college football, we've seen some great freshman performances. This one's ranking right at the top right now. You saw it up at USC, you saw it down at Michigan. This kid right here he's playing lights out.
2nd and 6. Vandenberg throws it corner of the end zone for Moyaki. And it's incomplete. Coleman had the primary coverage.
He's been impressive.
They got inside the 10 moments ago, missed a 22-yard field goal. Time for the tying touchdown. 3rd down and 6. Quick throw, Vandenberg, and it is caught for the touchdown, Marvin McNutt.
Sean, we talked about the juice that he puts in the ball, and a couple guys haven't been able to hang on to it. Well, this juice is in a really tight window.
First career touchdown pass for James Vandenberg. There'll be plenty more. Coach Ferentz, when I went to watch him play basketball right after his football season ended, in that basketball jersey, it looked like he weighed about 160 pounds. I wasn't sure we were doing the right thing. He's sure of it now. Kirk Ferentz wondered if Vandenberg 2 years ago would be able to make that throw when he was 160 pounds in high school. He's 205 now. Pryor throws, inbounds the catch on 2nd down and 3. Just about every time we've seen them do the Wildcat the last couple weeks, it's been that. Just an off-tackle run for Herron. Broderick Binns made the tackle. Now just one back. That was the first down of the quarter for Ohio State. Herron tackled by A.J. Eads. A pickup of 3.
That's just a math problem. We'll take care of it.
We'll figure out which one it is. Tune in and just stay to ABC all night. Then you're sure to catch it.
There you go.
Pryor underneath. Caught. Jake Ballard The tight end who thought about trying to leap a would-be tackler and then thought better of it. I'm told, officially, Modern Family.
We knew that. You like that show.
I do. It's very funny. Pryor. After all that, just across the line of scrimmage. He's a pretty good athlete in Adrian Claiborne chasing after him. Claiborne, an agile 282 pounds, was a fine basketball player in high school in the St. Louis area. He played high school basketball against Marvin McNutt, whom Herron carries. Klug made the tackle. Facing another third down here. 3rd down and 5. They've missed on their last 3 third downs. And he's pursued from behind. He got it off, and it's caught by Deron Carter, the freshman. His first catch and a big one.
Get going, and he just gets out of Claiborne's reach and picks up the first to Deron Carter, who is, of course, Chris Carter's son.
Definitely a trip to a BCS bowl game for whichever team emerges victorious. 15 minutes to go, regulation time, tied at 10. 1st and 10, Ohio State. And Herron never could find running room. On 1st and 10 from the 31, he lost a couple.
And Terrell Pryor, you can see he's got, especially last week, he had a great game. This week he's doing the same thing. He's under control, no turnovers.
Pryor throws it short. Ballard, the tight end, trying to escape and could not. It's a 3-yard gain. They're such good tacklers, as they have been for many years at Iowa. That was A.J. Eads. Of course, they're in long field goal range, but bear in mind it's their backup kicker for Ohio State, Barclay, who's been the starting kicker now for just 2 games. Pryor has a big gap, makes a great move, has a first down and much more. Down to the 11-yard line. One of the best tacklers in Iowa history there. Most guys would struggle against Pryor in space. It's Herron back in the Wildcat. He turns the corner inside the 5. Touchdown! And boom, Herron, the sophomore from Warren, Ohio, has given the Buckeyes the lead, and now a big extra point for the new kicker, Barclay. It's a 7-point lead on that drive, and also the key 19-yard run on 3rd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Good kick by Barclay. That was Brandon Sane. They went for 113 in their win at Indiana. So now Vandenberg out throwing. And a short gain. Forward progress across the 24 for Marvin McNutt, tackled by Austin Spither. They're battling a stout and experienced offensive line today. 4 of those 5 O-line starters have at least 22 career starts, and they pave the way for Adam Robinson. He's out to the 49-yard line, finally taken down by Kurt Coleman. 24-yard run. Freshman out of South Dakota. Vandenberg with a corner blitz coming. High throw, incomplete. Off the hands of Marvin McNutt. They do think he'd be available to play in a bowl game, but you wonder if they would go back to Stanzi with the way Vandenberg has played today. Flag before the play was completed.
Ball start, 63. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
2nd and 15. Hawkeyes back at their own 44. 4-man rush. Again, Vandenberg well protected. Short throw and short of the target. Colin Sandeman trying to pull off the shocker again. Not as big a shock this time. Vandenberg throws, and it is intercepted. Ross Holman inside the 30 and finally upended at the 24. Had one last week at Penn State as well. I formation, and it's Sane breaking free all the way. Touchdown with a great block from Zach Boren. Officially a 49-yard touchdown run by Sane. Barclay the extra point. Look at how the uniforms changed over the years. They're going to wear throwback uniforms in Ann Arbor next week against Michigan. Devin Barclay's kick down to Darrell Johnson-Koulianos. He escapes. Makes another good move, and he's off to the races. He will score! Darrell Johnson-Koulianos touchdown, and Iowa is right back in it.
So they had to improve.
They were due. Averaging 20.6 per return. Murray adds the extra point. 7-point game. Murray kicks off. Out of bounds.
That was awful.
2 fouls on the play. Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball's placed at the 40-yard line. After the play was over, we have a dead ball, personal foul, 46 on the defense. Contact to the head, 15 yards, first down.
A couple of big breaks for Ohio State, knocked on their heels for a moment by the kickoff return by Darrell Johnson-Koulianos. Herron powers down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards short of the first down. Sean Prater made the tackle.
It's a big play right here.
And it's Herron with the first down and more to the 29-yard line. Here in Columbus, Jim Tressel's team is over 200 yards rushing for the 4th game in a row. They'll lose a couple on that carry. Herron wrapped up by Carl Klug for a 2-yard loss. The second 100-yard game of the season. There's both 100-yard games by a running back. Pryor's gone over 100 yards rushing twice. Barclay might be called upon for the biggest field goal attempt of his brief career. Nothing doing there. Claiborne again, the man in the right spot for Iowa to drive Herron back to try a 47-yarder.
Who on this surface gets great footing with his plant foot. And that's the foot right before the kick when it sets down.
Big kick to make it a 2-score game. He hooked it, and it is no good. .7:11 to go. The freshman James Vandenberg's been excellent in his first career start. Deep handoff, and Adam Robinson falls down for a 2-yard loss back at the 28-yard line. And he had the game-winning touchdown in the final seconds at Michigan State. Trying to set up a screen to the near side. They do. Tony Moyaki, the tight end. Out to the 36. Under 6 minutes to go. A 1-score game. Flag down. Vandenberg intercepted. And it's going to be run back by Thaddeus Gibson for a score. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Offsides, number 43, defense, 5-yard penalty.
5:40 to go. The winner gets at least a share of the Big Ten title and gets the automatic bid into a BCS bowl game, the first that'll be handed out this year. Colin Sandeman, a good spin move and a first down into Buckeye territory. About 5th on the wide receiver depth chart and coming back from a concussion today. Seeing some action. Vandenberg flutters one, and it is caught on the ricochet by Moyaki. Well, Vandenberg's been good, but you have to be lucky sometimes too, and he was there. Roll can't believe it. Jaquan Roll both there, but it was Moyaki. 1st and 10. And Robinson got smacked by Ross Holman. Very quietly, Robinson's piled up 77 yards rushing on 17 carries. Vandenberg the slant. McNutt has it. McNutt finally taken down inside the 14-yard line. His grandfather a quarterback. They spent a lot of time tutoring him, and it has paid off. Robinson. Time running down now. Here's Vandenberg, one-on-one coverage, and a great catch by McNutt over the defender Chekwa to snatch it, and they're an extra point away from a tie.
We got a game.
Huge extra point. Murray's been shaky. The missed short field goal and the kickoff out of bounds, and he drives that one through. Murray kicks off. Tie game, 2:42 to go. Small. Ray Small. Stopped short of the 18-yard line. This is not an offense really built for the 2-minute drill. But this guy can explode on any play. Pryor goes out of bounds. 9-yard gain. Good play to start. But they went to play in the national championship game instead. That was way back in the '97 Rose Bowl when they beat Jake the Snake at Arizona State. Adrian Claiborne tackles Boom Herron, but it's a first down.
And if you're going to be a great offense, you be a great offense now. The same with being a great player.
And they'll try to use Pryor's athleticism for the big play. He got 1 yard, and then A.J. Eads ran him out. You and I have talked about perhaps the thought that Pryor might run more design plays with him running in mind. But Jim Tressel doesn't want to get him beat up. He's been whacked around all year, has a lot of nagging little injuries. Has an open receiver, Small. He did not get to the sideline. He tried valiantly, but fell down short of it. Sean Prater.
You need some plays. You got a ways to go, but you can't force it.
3rd down and 5. Pryor.
Safe throw.
Very safe throw in the flat, and it's not going to get a first down. It's a loss for Herron in the arms of Amari Spivey, and now Kirk Ferentz will use his first timeout with 59 seconds to go.
That is well done by the Iowa defense.
His last punt was only 31 yards, and this one's not very deep, so short that Sandeman wasn't in position to field it. It took a bad bounce for Ohio State sideways and out of bounds at the 32.
And your body of work to date means nothing if you don't capitalize now.
They come out conservatively. Well, it's 2 fine defenses, and the key on offense has been to avoid the big mistake, and that's the way both sides are playing it here. They're going to decide the Big Ten title and the BCS berth in overtime.
They like their kicker better than they think Ohio State's kicker can do.
Each team receives 1 timeout per overtime period. We'll have 2 series on that end of the field once we decide. Call.
Heads.
Heads is called. Tails.
Defense. Defense.
Okay. Ohio State chooses defense. We'll play at that end of the field. Ohio State over here. Iowa here.
Iowa's last extra session game was in 2007. They beat Michigan State. Ohio State back in 2004 lost at Northwestern. Vandenberg, a deep rollout by design, lofts it and threw it away. It's basically red zone football, and that's why some people don't like it. Takes a lot of aspects out of the game. Adam Robinson, the back. Iowa has had a season on the edge. They've won 4 games by 3 points or less for the first time ever. Robinson's in trouble, and that's a huge loss. Spittler made the tackle back at the 31 and waited 3 years behind James Laurinaitis to get a chance to be a first-time starter as a senior. Play clock down to 4 for Vandenberg. Out of the shotgun. Running out of time, and he is sacked. And they're not in field goal range. Worthington, the senior captain, in his final home game with the biggest play of his career. Double of senior captains on senior day. Spittler and Worthington with back-to-back huge plays. They need to get to the 15. 4th down and 26. Vandenberg heading toward the end zone, and it is intercepted by Anderson Russell, who wisely takes a knee. Position to win and pull off a huge upset. Did not take the chance. Herron slips down. The offense is in reverse in the overtime. Ballard will get credit for it.
And again, we're talking about defense. Ohio State defense, man, it stepped up big time. And on the first down, the Iowa defense steps up big time.
In a power run formation, and that's what they do with Herron. He's back to the 25, and that's it. And I don't think they're saying boom, his nickname this time. I think they're booing. And they're going to put it on his foot.
Exactly right.
Herron to the 22. It'll be about a 39-yard attempt. For a share of the Big Ten title and a chance to win it outright next week and a guaranteed spot in a BCS Bowl. From 39 yards, Barclay up and good!
Thanks for watching Ohio State Football Classics. Be sure to check your local listings for future episodes.